Hello friends, Koolio here, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video from MAGATSU WAHRHEIT. Today, I'm going to go through and give you guys a couple of tips and tricks and stuff when it comes to selecting what class that you want to kind of main at. Because in this game, you'll be able to unlock every single class within like the first 30 minutes of gameplay. So if I actually jump in, I can show you, I have every single class unlocked. I haven't played every single class. The current ones that I've been kind of working on are the warrior class and the wizard class, mainly because I want to go and eventually spec out and become a spell sword. However, I may change my opinions because doing some more research and looking at tier lists and stuff like that, there are tier lists on the best classes in the game. Now, this is based off of the Japanese version of the game, and so since this is the global version, there may be some differences, but I will give you guys a couple of opinions and stuff on what are some of the top tier classes, as well as give you guys a couple of ideas of what classes you should start off with. So the first thing I want to talk about is what are some beginner classes, or what type of class is meant for you as a player, okay? Because this is an MMORPG, it has sort of the trifecta, right? You've got your tank, you've got your DPS, and then you've got your support, your healer, or whatever. And each of the classes sort of takes on that respective role. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to talk about each of the classes, give you guys an idea of how those classes play, to give you some information on which class that you should be maining. So the first one is the warrior. This is your standard melee DPS unit. He does a lot of really strong single target DPS attacks. And if you're looking for somebody that just gets a big sword, gets up in the person's face, deals a lot of damage, and has a decent amount of HP and a decent amount of defense, this is the class that you're going to want to pick. Now, if you're somebody that likes to do a lot of damage and kill as many enemies as possible, I recommend going for the wizard class, because the wizard class is probably the most, I would say probably does the most amount of damage out of all of the beginning classes, because it has really, really strong AoE effects, AoE damaging abilities, specifically if you can get some really good staff. So I have a really great staff for the wizard, and so that's the one I'm doing right now. I've been able to level them up really fast, to be able to push myself through the main quest line, because the wizard class just does a lot of DPS damage to literally every enemy on the field. So if you're looking for a class that just does a crazy amount of damage to everybody, wipes out the board, and gets through the questing as fast as possible, I do recommend the wizard. However, the wizard's defense and HP is quite low, and so when you start getting into some of those more difficult boss battles and stuff and teaming up with other players, it's going to become necessary to have other people to kind of jump in and support you. Which leads me to the first support class I want to talk about, which is the knight class. Now, the knight class is your standard tank. However, the knight class actually can deal a decent amount of DPS. But I will say the knight class is the one that's going to be taking on the rage of the enemy, the hate of the enemy is what they call it. They're going to be the ones that are going to tempt them, make it so all the damage is focused on the knight themselves. Now, the knight can subclass with the warrior class into the gladiator class and become one of the top tier tank classes in the game. And I'll get into that in just a little bit, but I do want to let you know, if you are the player that wants to be a tank, wants to take most of the damage to support your teammates, I recommend going for the knight class and then also working and upgrading the warrior class. Which leads me to the main support of the game, and that is the priest. Priest, it's pretty self-explanatory. This is the class that's going to be doing a lot of healing and doing a lot of buffing. Okay? There's not really else I can say about it, so let's go on to the next one. The next one is the hunter. The hunter is an interesting class because it's a specialized class. It does things like DPS. It can also do some debuffing, but it's kind of there to be a secondary long-range DPS as next to the gunner class. The gunner class would be the one that does most of the main long-range DPS. However, I don't think it does as much damage as the wizard class. It's focused more on attack rather than special attack. But those are all the main basic classes in the game. They're basically tailored towards your different styles of gameplay. But these will not be the main classes that you're going to end up with. There are secondary classes, and these are the ones I want to talk about. The first one is going to be the warrior gladiator class. This one unlocks when you get the warrior to level 70 and the knight to level 50. This is an S tier tank class. Now the thing is with this warrior, this gladiator class, it is the second strongest tank in the game. It deals more damage than the first one, but it can't take nearly as much damage as the paladin class can. But we will talk about the paladin class in just a little bit. But the gladiator class is just an all-around really great offensive and defensive character with a little bit more push towards the defensive side. The next one I want to talk about is the Paladin class, like I was saying before. The Paladin class is a combination of the Knight and the Priest. You can see right there, you have to unlock it at level 70 of the Knight and level 50 of the Priest. Now, the reason why this is probably the one that you want to go for if you are playing as straight up tank is because you can support yourself while taking a lot of the damage. So it may not have as high of defense, I believe, as the Gladiator. You're going to be able to keep yourself alive a lot longer using the Priest class. Or the Paladin. Now, the next one we want to talk about actually comes from the Gunner class. This one is the Gunslinger class itself. This is a combination of the Gunner and the Hunter. This is one that does a lot of DPS. Great DPS, but also combines that support from the Hunter class itself. So this is going to be like top tier single target DPSing is with the Gunner, which also I want to talk about the Gun Knight. This is a character that does not as much damage as the Gunslinger, but it's able to keep itself alive a little bit longer and stay in the fight a lot longer. It doesn't have to really rely on other players and stuff to support it and to keep it alive. So those two are another like really high top tier classes to pick from. The next one we're going to talk about is probably the highest melee DPS class that you're going to have in the game. So if you're the person that wants to jump in and do the most DPS possible, melee DPS, keep that in mind, melee DPS, then you're going to want to go for the Rogue class. The Rogue class is a combination of the Hunter and the Warrior. The top two like melee DPS or single target DPS characters in the game, combining them together to the Rogue class, you're going to be doing an insane amount of damage. Probably most likely single target damage, not as much damage as you're going to get from if you're going to go subclass with the Wizard. But do keep that in mind. Like if you're looking for a class high DPS, go for the Rogue class. Now, the last one I want to talk about is the Enchanter class. This one is a combination of the Priest and the Hunter. This one does a lot of buffing on its own, a lot of help and support for your other teammates and stuff, while also combining it with a lot of healing. So if you're the person that doesn't want to focus too much on like the healing aspect, but basically just full on support of literally everybody through healing as well as buffs and debuffs and stuff, then the Priest Enchanter class is fantastic. So that's my guide. Give you guys a couple of opinions and stuff. Now, a lot of these things may change from the Japanese. A lot of information and stuff. Things may change as the game progresses for the global version. But those are just a couple of suggestions of the gameplay styles and some classes and directions that you guys could be taking to to build your classes and stuff. Because it's going to take a lot of resources to start doing that. Now, before we end the video, I talked about in my initial video that my recommendation on which banner to summon on is this game launching memorial banner. Now, the one down here at the bottom, the global launch limited captain's weapon banner, when you summon on it 50 times, it will give you enough coins that you can exchange for a 25% chance summoning ticket. Now, we're going to do that in this video, and I'm interested to see if we get super lucky or if it may not be the best. So cross your fingers. I'm really hoping that this works out for me. Because I kind of want to max out my Wizard class right now, but I got to make sure that I am on my Wizard class. Okay, and we'll head on back to the exchange, not the gacha. We're going to go to the exchange. We are going to exchange for the ticket. And there we go, 25% EX weapon ticket. Now we can head on back to the gacha, and we have a new banner, the ticket. So here we go. 25% limited equip gacha. Draw for a guaranteed SR equip. The weapon that I want to go for is going to be the Hexa Celestian Rod. This one gives an ability called Void Falling. 2 hits to cause 333.3% total special damage to all enemies with a 50% chance to cause an additional 66.6 additional damage. This is way stronger than the weapon I have right now, and if I get this, I am totally going to start maxing out this character. But cross your fingers, that's the one we want to get. I don't know if we're going to get it, but here we go. If the chest goes gold, we should be good. If it's not gold, so that's gold. Oh, the box is black. There's still a chance I can get an SSR. Really, if this isn't something like amazing, I'm gonna be really sad. Okay, SSR, come on, SSR, please, please. That's a Warlock hat. I mean, I'm playing as a wizard, and I can subclass into Warlock. Special attack bonus. Increases special attack by 300. That's actually pretty dang good. So, there we go. That's a little my guide for you guys for the classes, and then to give you guys an idea of what that banner looks like. I think we got something pretty good. So guys, thanks so much for watching. If you guys enjoy these videos and want to see more videos of Magatsu WAHRHEIT, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and let me know your guys' thoughts on the game down below. Are you guys enjoying it? Are you guys playing it? Which class are you guys playing? Because I'd love to hear. So let me know down below. And guys, my name's Koolio, and I'll see you next time.